Hey, Basket Brains. Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I am a bona fide stud and a certified G, and you can't teach that. Alongside of me is Ollie DePina. Ollie is 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. Welcome to episode 35 of the K.O Disc Golf Show. It's episode 35, the Clefairy episode. Fun fact about Clefairy is actually was supposed to be like the main Pokemon of the entire Pokemon franchise. Originally, it was going to be Clefairy over Pikachu, but then they realized that Pikachu was more gender neutral, where Clefairy was kind of more based for like a female audience kind of thing. Famous players to wear number 35: Kevin Durant, Justin Verlander, and Frank Thomas, as well as Mike Messina. Red Sox players to wear the number 35: Richard Blyer and Stephen Wright. And Mariners players to wear the number 35 last season was Vossler. And I didn't know this, but Ricky Henderson played for the Mariners in the year 2000 and wore the number 35. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty sweet. Giants, 35 is not the most popular number. A couple one-off, couple one-year guys. Most notable would be like Andre Brown or Quinton Demps, I'd say. So shout out to those number 35 for the Giants.
Nice. Yeah, Ollie, how's it going, man? You got that post-Thanksgiving craziness over at Costco?
Post-Thanksgiving craziness was pretty chill. I'd say the week leading up to Thanksgiving was the rough one. Like Black Friday was pretty chill. It was one of the slower days I've ever worked, I'd say.
Really?
I think just other people going out and doing Black Friday deals and stuff like that. Costco doesn't have any, or like we start ours, whatever sales that we do for Black Friday, like 2 weeks before it even starts. So,
I see.
I think there's some like cyber deals online, but nothing crazy like that. I have been kind of on a huge Pokemon obsession recently. Um, I've been getting a couple packs in here and there and stuff like that, but then I also recently just got Pokemon Scarlet or Violet on my Switch, and that's what the VGC like competitive play is played on. So I've been watching like the world champion make a bunch of YouTube videos and learning what the competitive scene looks like and different things like that. And so kind of just on a big Pokemon work grind, which is pretty fun. But it's been cool catching them, figuring out which teams I want to run, how I'm going to get my teams like actually into the game and stuff. So I re-downloaded Pokemon Go because you can transfer your Pokemon Go characters into Pokemon Violet. So
Cool.
I've been like, I was like, oh, I didn't even know. I found my old Pokemon Go account, so it's been a little bit of a grind. But we're playing a bunch of Pokemon recently.
Nice. Let me know when you get to like a certain point in the game, like I don't know, kind of deep in the game, because I've played. I have Scarlet on my Switch, and I think like I have most of the Pokedex complete, but I'm like what is it, that dolphin Pokemon like Paldean or whatever it is? He's like a real son of a bitch to get, man. He's like really you can't evolve him by yourself. Like you need a
Yep.
person, like an online friend or something like that. So when you get there, let me know because I definitely need to link up and kind of complete that. That would be sweet to do. So
Yeah, I think with Violet, I get one of the special guys is like Bagon and Salamence. So if you need a Salamence, I got you.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
my friend got Scarlet at the same time as me getting Violet because he was the one that was like, oh, I'm really into the competitive, like watching the competitive stuff, and I was like, I like games that are competitive.
yeah,
I was like, I'll learn that, and so what I've learned too is that it's honestly one of the harder games to learn, or like that I'm like learning honestly in the sense of like it's so like the people that are good at it are so good and so numbers oriented where like they know exactly what's like what they're doing with like team building, the moves
yeah,
that they have, all those things where it's really cool but kind of intense at the same time. Like you
yeah.
need the EVs and the IVs and the
Which those are
oh
so much easier to do now. Like back in the day, you used to have to like grind mini games to get your Pokemon to have like perfect IV.
yeah.
Oh man, like yeah, it's super fun. That's something I've been doing for like a long time. I pretty much have played every generation of Pokemon since Red and Blue, like as soon as it comes out. So I'm kind of like a
Do-
sucker for it at this point.
have you watched the competitive scene at all?
A little bit. I'll check it out like here and there. I kind of go through spurts of like when I first play the game, I get super into like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna get really good, and then it's that same thing where it's like you realize like how good and how smart like some people are at it, and it's just like, oh man, I'm like so outmatched here. Like it's so crazy. But I do like it. The online scene there is like wild. Like you said, people are just like so good, and they know like every like moves like 4 steps ahead kind of thing. Like yeah, really really impressive. My week's been pretty chill. Discmania mystery boxes are out. My mystery box shows up tonight. Pretty excited. I think Asher and I have like a plan to do like a collab video next week with both of our mystery boxes. So keep your eyes open for that. That should be fun. But yeah, my week is like pretty like simple and pretty chill. Waking up early, going to the gym. Sometimes I go get like a like a practice round in. Sometimes I go to like the driving range. But then I'm at work. I'm at home. I'm putting, and I'm repeating it the next day kind of thing. So solid, honestly, kind of enjoying. I'm going to do that pretty much throughout the whole month of December. But yeah, starting to look at tournaments for next year, kind of getting that all signed up. I think you and I have talked about it before, but I'm going to try to get down to the Wintertime Open down in Pasadena, California in mid-February. So I think that's going to be my first like, kind of like big trip of the year and kind of my first big tournament kind of thing. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, it should be fun.
So that's going to be a cool one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at Oak Grove, which is the first disc golf course, I think, in America, maybe the world, that had like
First place where baskets were put into ground.
Yeah.
No special reason why it was Oak Grove. The city approved of like 10 out of like 30, or they're picking out of like 10 parks, and that was just the one they picked to do first.
Yeah.
And then they ended up doing a couple parks right after that. But I went there, I saw the first basket put in ground. It was cool.
It's cool.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely like a cool thing. The course itself, honestly, isn't even like the most impressive course in the world anymore. Like things have just grown so much since when this course was put in. It's just like the prestige of it kind of thing. I did look into it, and they will have the 2-meter rule in effect. And I've never played a tournament with the 2-meter rule in effect, so that'll be kind of interesting, kind of fun. So besides that, I'm kind of getting like a little hyped up about like baseball season. I know it's like so far away, but the Red Sox are like apparently like really close, or like in the top like couple of teams for signing Juan Soto. And that would just be absolutely huge. Like I keep hearing like random rumors and stuff like that, but I've been checking all the podcasts. Like every morning I wake up and I get excited to get like an MLB notification. I'm like, is this the one? Like, is this when we get our guy? Or, is this when I'm kind of a little disappointed that he went to the Yankees or Mets, or I guess like the Blue Jays are going to apparently offer like a ton of money to him kind of
The
thing.
Dodgers are offering him money.
Which is crazy too. It's like, you guys have enough, like it's crazy. So
The Dodgers are probably top 3 team to get him.
that's wild. It's going to cost them like 1.5 like times whatever his contract is, or 2 times his contract, because of what they're paying in like luxury taxes or whatever the heck it is, wherever they call it in baseball, for like going over whatever the first tier.
Ohtani doesn't even, he makes like so little money until like 2030 something. He makes like,
so he signed that $700 million contract, and technically like on their like actual payroll, they're only paying him $2 million a year, but against their like luxury tax payroll, he still counts as like 46.5 million or something like that, because it's like an appreciated value or something. His contract is so complicated. Like there's so much there. It's so crazy. But Juan Soto's not getting any of that. Juan Soto's just like getting his money, and he wants it kind of thing. Which, I mean, good on him. I mean, he's like 26, 27 years old. It's like, yeah, bro, like get your money now and like invest it, go like treat your family. So, but yeah, really excited about that. I really hope something cool happens in the next like couple of days. Yeah, moving right along into some Washington State disc golf stuff. We did have a tournament this past weekend, which is pretty cool. It was the leftover turnover up at Kayak. It was a 2-round event, 1 round, I believe, on the Reds and 1 round on the pitch and putt course. This is another event where MA1, there was like a 3-way tie for first, and the 3-way tie in MA1 beat the MPO score. I've seen that happen a couple of times this year. I think I'm going to try to play like a lot more stuff next year, just to kind of, put a little validity in the MPO field. Like, come on, y'all, we got to, collectively, we all kind of need to step it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I did have a question for you, Ollie, and I did look into this a little bit. But
yeah.
Do you think that the pitch and putt is like okay, like for like a competitive tournament?
I don't really care too much. Like, I don't think it's like if they when the tournaments they do have it in, I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst. I don't think there would be any really big tournaments decided from a pitch and putt. Like, this is like a random C tier, or
Mhm.
like I think they've only done it like random C tiers. Um, to my knowledge, I mean, I don't. Maybe they've done like a bigger tournament with it, but I don't know. I don't have a that big of a problem with it. I probably would personally not go to the tournament, uh, or sign up for a tournament that had a pitch and putt. But like, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't. It seems like so out of my realm of what something I would do. Like, I'm not really focused on. Like, if someone's focus is to go just do tournaments to go do like those easier ones or something like that, or like I think they also did change it so you can't just like I think laying up and just parring out on the pitch and putt now is like rated a lot lower than what it used to be. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with it if the ratings are right with it and everything. Like I don't have too big of a deal with it.
Yeah. I don't love it personally. I don't want to
Yeah.
like events. Same thing, right? I don't want to play events
Yeah.
necessarily like that. Like that doesn't really like appeal to me. I did try to look into like the rule of it, and I can't find any rule against it. So they're not doing anything wrong, and like so therefore like it's not like really an issue, I guess. But kind of the same thing. Like you really shouldn't like just for like legitimacy, I guess. Like you really shouldn't be putting like the pitch and putt in like a B tier or anything like that. You know?
Yeah. What the ratings are at now for their event at the pitch and putt, I think will go down by like almost 50 or like 40 or something like that. That's what happened at the like once the ratings dropped, it went down like a ton once the official rating came out basically,
Did it?
yeah. Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, like so it's still at like 955. I was gonna say I remember like years ago it was like 960 was par, and it's still at like 955. So that it might not be too much lower than that.
The last time Roxy did it, there was she had like a +4 or something like that, and I think it originally rated her as like a 900 round or something like that, or like a
Wow.
high 800,
Yeah.
and then it went down and readjusted to like an 850 or
Okay.
like a +4. Like so, like it went down and readjusted by like several like
Interesting.
decent amount of points, but I think that was because um unnamed player emailed the PDGA about that event.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah.
an unnamed player
Okay.
emailed the PGA and complained about how the score that they had would be like their highest rated round, and they didn't want that as their highest rated round.
Oh, that's interesting.
So Roxy was pissed.
Yeah.
Roxy was like, I don't know about this anymore.
Yeah.
She was like, why are they hating on me? Why are they hating on my success?
Yeah. I do know that there are like I know of like MA3 and MA4 players that like legitimately enjoy going and doing this event because they're like, hey, it's a free like 940, like 950 like rating on my rating every year, and they're like that helps boost my rating, and it's like that's not. I don't know.
I
That
mean, like,
do
I
it.
get, like, I don't know if that's like all you care about is getting like a tiny bit higher of a rating, and just knowing that like the next time you go, if and if you're waiting for like the 1, 2 pitch and putt tournaments at kayak a year, I think you're just, it's like a completely different life you're living than me. Like, I'm not even, like,
Yeah, that's not how I do it, man. Yeah,
exactly. Like, like, I do have a problem with it, but at the same time, it's like,
there's
I
nothing
just
technically wrong with it. That's you know what I
yeah, and it's like I just personally would never, and I'm not gonna. But I hope that I seeing 955 kind of does bum me out because like I think being able to go up and lay up on a seven, like literally just putt under a basket and walk out with 955 is kind of gross, and I think it's so easy to lay up every single hole there.
It is. It's super is. Especially like if you're playing like very safe. Like it could be the simplest thing you do like all day. Like it takes like no skill, no effort whatsoever. Definitely not the skills represented of like a 955 rated player. You know to do that,
No,
which is it's crazy. And on the other side of that too, me being 1,003 rated, I have to go like 5 down out there. So it's like, hey, you want me to make like 5 or 6 like 70-foot putts out of 18? Like that's actually that's a lot to ask out of somebody, especially the shapes, and especially like if you run some of those putts.
Windy day at kayak or something,
Yeah,
and
and
you have one hole where you hit off the cage and roll into the water, and the next thing you know, you have like a
yeah,
yeah,
dude. And
yeah.
then now we got to make like 9 of them, or you know what I mean? Like it's yeah, for sure. Um, I don't
I
know.
mean, I think it's on Kayak Point whether like if they feel like I mean, obviously like they had two pro players at this event, um, for the MPO field and two FPO players and two MP40, one MP50, two MP60, and the MP60 guys I've seen dabble in or like the amateur divisions as well. So it's like when you want to have like an event and you want people to come out, they're all coming out for what's being played. Like I legitimately like if it's 2 rounds of red or a round of red and a round of this or like like that is what people decide to go up and go do it when they go to kayak. Like I want to go play a round of blues or I want to go play a round of golds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think having a pitch and putt is going to make it hard for anyone that does have a higher rating or that isn't there just to lay up a pitch and putt is they're not going to go to the event.
Yeah,
So more people going to an event I think is more important and it would draw more people to not do it. But again, ultimately that's just a decision because it's not against any rules for the tournament directors to,
yeah,
I do or don't want to do it.
yeah. I mean, totally great. Each stroke, by the way, just like
Yeah.
for correlation, each stroke is 19 points. So the difference between a 36 and a 37 out there, the 36 was a 955, and the 37 like total strokes was a 936. So that's a 19-point difference for one like one.
No one went negative as well. Oh,
I,
one person went negative.
yeah, I think I saw one negative, which is crazy.
Steve Bell, the negative.
Yeah, I was looking for pars, and I ran across that one. Okay, we're gonna go through the winners real quick, and then we'll kind of move along. Winning MPO was Steve Werner. Winning FPO was Jennifer Rice. MP40 Andrew Rivers. MP50 David Buzzaw. It's kind of a sick last name, dude. MP60 is Steve Bell. MA1, he won in a playoff. Riley O'Toole. He beat out Jack Stewart and John Geiger. Man, I hope they did that playoff on Reds and they didn't go to the pitch and putt because that would be so weak, dude. Winner of FA1 was Kathleen Higgins. Winner of MA40, Richard Eastman. FA40 winner, Shayna Schuerman. MA50 winner, Greg Brooks. MA70 winner, Ed Klassen. MA2 winner was Tyler Downing. MA3 winner was Nashon Whitebear. Okay, sick name. And winner of MA4 was John Jordan, and winner of MJ15 was Nolan Burnson. So congratulations.
I have no problem if you're if they're doing like MJ15 events at the pitch and
Yo,
putt. That's where I think the pitch and putt could shine. Like let a kid go do that. Like let it because then I think that also because I don't think we're as an adult, as any pro player, as any like high amateur player, even mid amateur player, I don't think the mental battle at a pitch and putt is as big as it would be. And I think it would actually allow these kids to be like, it does they have to think about running it or not running it a lot more than how we would play it. So I like seeing more that's a cool idea.
I think there is like the key there for me too, right? Is like if it's like a kid's thing, like a 70-foot layup for a kid is not the same as like you and I or any other like adult, really. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. That should be a thing. So
yeah, I think if you want to do competitive pitch and putt events, that should be the forefront focus of it. Like it should be like get your kids out to the event. It should be like, yeah, that's a cool idea actually.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get into some off-season like rumors, basically, and kind of just like some off-season news for like big disc golf and stuff like that. I heard this the other day. It hasn't been fully confirmed yet, and I doubt it will be until January. But Ezra Robinson going to Discraft for 2 years, so pretty interesting. They have a absolutely like stacked team, so that's really cool. Um, Another rumor I heard is that Kyle Klein will not be back with Discmania next year. Apparently, like he will be moving somewhere. I haven't heard any real rumors about like where he might go. I know like Innova's on the table, but they kind of have to be on the table for a player like that. But
Before you move on, with Ezra Robinson, if he goes to Discraft, what do you like? What the Discraft team? Where do you like rank him among those team members and like just like value wise? I'm curious. I was thinking about this when I saw the show notes. Like, do you value him more than a Ezra Aderhold because he does maybe better at tournaments, but maybe doesn't have necessarily like that YouTube and content like that
follow,
people have?
yeah,
Yeah, but at the same time, I can see Ezra Robinson having like if the second he really starts doing that kind of thing, he's so likable, he's really cool. Like, I don't know, I could see people following a thing like that, and I think he's on the rise of becoming like a more of a household name. And I think it will become more apparent that he needs to do that to build his brand. So I could see him having like a breakout, like being a bigger player in the sense of fans and stuff this next couple of years. And a move like that, I think, would also help a ton with that. But I'm kind of curious, like, where does he rank among those like Discraft guys? Like, he's not on the because this is like the Paul, the AB, like that kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I think personally, I think he's almost equal in my mind to like a Gossage, because it's
Oh,
like the skills are all there, and he's going to make some lead cards, and he's going to like pop off some tournaments to get some really high finishes. But yeah, like maybe all the social media isn't there, even though he's got the personality to show. I know like Gossage is doing this stuff with Aderhold now, so I'm sure
I was gonna say he's kind of made that jump in the social media. Maybe we'll see Ezra Robinson do that same jump we just saw
yeah,
here in Gossage. That's a good one. I like that.
yeah, but that's where I would put him, kind of in the same line there, which is like a sixth spot to be. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a huge addition for Discraft. Like, I would say that Ezra Robinson is a much bigger addition than Chris Clemens was. What was that, last year or the year before? So I think that's huge for them for sure. But yeah, so Kyle Klein, potentially not coming back with Discmania, that does make me think that they're like clearing space for Isaac Robinson. And let me be very clear. Like, I am sponsored by Discmania. I don't know anything really. They're obviously not going to tell me like a low level player like financial information, and I'm not hearing like all this like back end talk. This is just kind of what I'm hearing, like word on the street. Like people that come into the shop, and people that I kind of see online and stuff like that. So any information that I'm putting out there is already kind of out like to the masses. I'm not like spoiling anything. I don't have any like insider knowledge or anything like that. But it does make me think that Isaac will be coming to Discmania, if Kyle is in fact like on his way out. And I heard another rumor that Casey White might also be on his way out. So
What?
yeah, and if Casey goes, I think Casey's going to MVP. I think that's kind of like
100%. Yeah. No.
So I don't know if Casey's going. I think everything from what I've seen, like Casey seems like he's really committed to like the Discmania brand and that kind of thing. But what do you think about like Kyle Klein, potentially not coming back, and the domino effect that has with Isaac Robinson?
I think Kyle Klein is an interesting and tricky person to like kind of predict because I think ultimately he'll have the decision, or he does like not every player has options like I feel like Kyle Klein would necessarily. Not saying they're like great options, but I think he'll have the opportunity to come back with whatever team he wants, like Discmania or that. But it just depends on like how that looks to him, and like does that fit what he wants? Like would it be like money wise, contract wise, promising these discs or something like that? Would he want that while maybe they're looking to go sign someone like Isaac Robinson is intriguing, but I feel like I don't know. He's been so good with Discmania and like kind of been like during this transitioning period a solid player that performs for them and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Where him and then his girlfriend is also on Discmania as well.
Ricky Adi, yeah,
Yeah, and so it'd be interesting, but
it's
no, that's not the biggest thing having your girlfriend on the team, but
it does.
or like reason to keep. But it is just another factor that plays in that. Like I don't know, I'm a big analyst guy, so like any data point I think is always valuable when trying to create whatever you want, really, like
Yeah,
whether you're trying to prove a point or whatever. But more data points, the better. So
yeah,
whether how big the data point is regardless. But
yeah. I don't know, if Kyle doesn't come back with Discmania, you know what I mean? Like if you actually look at the landscape of disc golf, there's really not like a ton of options like for a high level player like him to go out there and like really like get paid and like make it like a full time like make touring like really easy and possible. If you look at the way like things are set up, I mean, Dynamic Discs, Discmania, Latitude 64, Casaplast, West Side Discs, those are all under House of Disc. That's basically all one brand at that point. Because if you're not going to be with Discmania, it's not like House of Disc is going to turn around and just flip you to Dynamic Discs or anything like that. They're going to keep you on the brand you've been with, kind of thing. So there's a ton of brands already kind of out. At that point, what are you looking at? You're looking at Innova, you're looking at Discraft. Discraft has signed a ton of people. They might not exactly be looking at adding more budget on. MVP is another one, but they're already seems like they're getting pretty stacked pretty quickly too. And I'm sure Simon and Eagle are costing them a ton of money, which is like at some point you got to say, hey, like this is all we can afford in player budget kind of thing, right? Like
probably like over $15 million between the two of them, which is kind of crazy.
I think per year, I think it's I don't know how.
Probably a mil a year.
I think I know
Wasn't Simon's like
Simon
10-year 11 million or something?
Simon's was 1 mil per year for like 10 years, I think, and Eagles wasn't public, but I'm pretty confident Eagles was like $800,000 per year.
I'm sure it was like pretty close to that mil. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's like if you're going over like the whole because like they got Eagle for 5 and Simon for 10 or
Mhm.
10. Yeah, so it's like they're probably making a pretty chunk of money for MVP. Like their MVPs like yeah, they're making MVPs money for the next like good they're making a lot
they,
of
they,
money.
they're making a lot of money and they need to make MVP a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
I think what happened was Conrad threw in the envy, his Conrad envy paid for Lazat. I think Lazat came in and his hexes and just Lazat himself paid for Eagle to come in kind of thing. And then they're just hoping Eagle brings enough to, kind of keep it rolling kind of thing. I don't know any of this. I'm just kind of speculating. That's what it seems like from the outside at least. Um, but there's really not, I mean, outside of those companies, like who else, like, outside of House of Disc, Innova, Discraft, and MVP, like who are your other like big like main manufacturers? I mean, like Lone Star, I heard they're not even going to have a pro team next year at all. Prodigy, I mean, like what are we doing there? And then you got smaller brands like AGL, Gateway, DGA, Infinite, TSA, Mint, Clash. Like they all have like opportunities now to sign like I don't know what like your like mid-level players like Chris Clemens, right? I mean, like he would be a great opportunity to see him on like a Thought Space Athletics or
Yeah.
like AGL. Like Chris Clemens AGL would be sick, dude.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see where the cards fall for a lot of these players. Yeah, the options aren't as big as they used to be. Like you don't get to pick kind of like that big like oh I'm gonna go here and and guarantee to make some money. I think with the Lone Star thing, they still will have whether well because Nico Lacastro has his whole line with them, the Sacred Disc, so I don't think he's going anywhere, and so that's like their one player I think that will be on tour that represents one of their like because Sacred Discs is Lone Star
Mm-hmm.
Discs, it's not anything different. Um,
Interesting to see what becomes of that, though. You know what I mean? Because
I know. So now he has his whole disc line and that, and he's like possibly the only Lone Star player really touring.
mm-hmm.
What happens with that, and where do you go from that, really?
And how I mean, really, like how beneficial is that to some point? You know what I mean? At some point, like what are you doing there? Um, That's it. I didn't even think about Nico. You know who I think has a really good opportunity to do some really cool shit is Trash Panda. So I think like that, like this is the opportunity where he can sign like a mid-level player. Have that mid-level player also sign with like a Thought Space Athletics or with like an AGL or something. Where it has like a mix.
AGL and Trash Panda have a good relationship.
Dude, that's a cool.
That's the one I'm thinking of seeing. Like I want to see that.
Yeah,
I know also,
get along with each other well too, right?
yeah, like Scott is AGL and Clash. I know there's another one that was like pretty AGL and that threw a lot of AGL and a lot of Clash discs. That was pretty
Was
cool to
it
see.
Chandler Kramer?
It wasn't Chandler. I'm like
Else.
might have just been like a local person that really liked him or something. I was like, oh, is this the pipeline? You know, you throw AGL and then you throw a couple Clash mids in there, and then
Mm,
you got the bag. So I just remember looking. I think it was around that Cascade Challenge time. I don't know,
yeah.
blanking on it now, but yeah, a lot of rumors that are really interesting that I feel like will start up soon. I don't know. There'll probably be one person like Isaac. Once Isaac goes, I think that's going to be like the domino effect, and we'll start seeing people sign and different things like that. But in F1, they call it silly season, so I'm kind of waiting for silly season to get going. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see who's throwing new plastics. I do think it's also kind of funny where this is the first time we've seen like kind of like the turnovers of players and stuff like
Mm.
that, and I'm watching I just it keeps popping in my head the like Lone Star ad where they're all like, you gotta try it. It's all about the
All
plastic.
about the
And it's
plat.
like every single one of those players is not on the team.
Yeah. None of them.
Where it's like, oh,
Like
like
Emerson Keith is a big part of that commercial, and you're like, oh no, yeah,
Chandler Kramer is, and I'm like, oh.
yeah, that
And
did
so
well.
it's interesting to see like these players that like, oh, I actually do really like these discs that are just so like the second that contract's up, they're like, I'm never throwing that disc again. You know, it's kind of interesting to see that. And oh, man
Oh,
down.
man down.
And so yeah, that's interesting to see that.
Yeah. Um, no, I mean it totally is. I have talked with like Lone Star, like former Lone Star sponsored players, and to be like, hey, like I remember last year you told me this was a really good disc. Like, what are your feelings now? And they're like, don't love it. I'm like, yeah, that shows. Um, all right, last little bit of kind of like off-season news and rumors. Ken Climo, the champ, Kenny the champ Climo. He has left Innova, which is bananas to me. He, in my mind, has always been synonymous like with that brand. You know, KC Pro, the Ken Climo stamp stuff. Um, really
So
interesting. What's that?
will they not do KC Pro anymore? Or they
I
have to?
I think that they should. I mean, I don't know, like what did like Macbeth had his own like McPro like plastic that they just stopped doing. So maybe they will just stop doing like that plastic and like if you're a KC Rock fan, like stock up because like you might not find them going forward, kind of thing. Uh, it's really interesting. I mean, I've heard a ton of rumors about Ken Climo and his relationship with Innova, and stuff that you never know how much is true or not, but bunch of rumors about like Kenny taking like a lump sum payment from Innova at one point because he was kind of a little down on his luck, and Innova like paid him, and then disc golf kind of blew up, and Innova kept stamping his name on discs, and he wasn't getting a royalty because he already got that lump sum, so he missed out on like a ton of money. Is kind of the rumor. Like I said, I don't know how true any of that is, but there's always kind of seemed like there was a little bit of like not there. Like it always seemed like there wasn't like full love between Ken Climo and Innova for like the last like decade or so, like since he's been out of the game. So couple of rumors about where he's going. I did hear a rumor that Discraft was going to pick him up and just have him like throwing their stuff, which I think is like crazy to me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't like that.
dude, I have such.
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, that's like the worst. That's like the absolute that's like David Ortiz on the Yankees to me. I'm like that's such like a what are we doing here kind of situation. The other rumor I heard that I really like and I think is like maybe I don't know how valid, but maybe valid is he's gonna actually be signing with like the PDGA as like a full time broadcaster, and they want to have.
I like that. I like that. I like that
Yeah,
a lot.
I think that.
I literally was about to just ask that. I was like, I don't know if you've heard him, but the tournament that he did and the tournaments that he's done, I'm like glued. Listen to everything he has to say. When he's
Yeah,
talking about a frisbee, it's like it's cool to hear, man. And like he
yeah.
understands how these discs fly, and like
He's got
it's
that like
cool.
low, like kind of like almost raspy voice too, where it's like satisfying to listen to. And like yeah, he taught like he's a smart guy, like he definitely knows enough about the game and all that, or like more than enough about the game, obviously. Um, yeah, no, I love the idea. I also love the idea of him going with the PDJ and being like that guy, at like every event, like whether he's on the ground, whether he's in the booth, like whatever, whatever they need him to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would be my ideal landing spot for him. Man, him going to like him going to like Discraft, or even like, man, like him signing with Discmania would be so sick for me personally, but like also would be like, what, like, why are you doing that? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
so um let us
Ken
know.
Climo Zone OS coming out soon.
Yo, that would be crazy. I wonder, oh my god, it'd be like a Ken Climb,
Ken Climo Buzz?
like soul, like
A
Ken
12 claw Buzz?
Oh my god, dude.
12 claw soul?
Yo, I would buy the fuck out of some 12 claw soul.
That seems like too many claws.
Yo, I'm so in on that. Like, damn. Like, you couldn't do claws. You'd have to do something else. Maybe, oh, I don't know. Maybe like Gator Prince or something because he's from Florida. Like,
Well, that's kind of. I was gonna say 12 crowns or something like that.
yeah, that's something that would be cool. If they, I think whoever does sign him, if it is a company, in fact, like that's a genius idea right there. I didn't even think about that before. But yeah, doing like a 12-time disc for him, like dirty. Yeah.
I mean, you get it. You just get to take those those with them. Like you sign the player, you get the titles.
Yeah.
And to an extent, you know.
Yeah. McBeth didn't win 6 with Discraft alone. You know, like,
No.
dude. Yeah. No, that's sick. Cool idea. Yeah. All right. Getting into our giveaway winners. Last week I said I was going to give away 2 discs. I have this FD and I have this C-Line DD. So the C-Line DD is going to go to Brian O'Connor, my business partner. Commented Poppy with a question mark. So he was like questioning if he wanted to do it. I like that.
Poppy?
Yeah, like Poppy. I also like Dylan's response because he put a little Riz face on there. So
okay.
nice job, buddy. And then for the Showstopper FD, this is going to go to my friend Kayla Ority. Thank you, Kayla. Nice job there for everybody. So, Kayla, I'll have this at the shop if I don't see you. Brian, obviously, I'll see you in the next like week or so, I'm sure. He's busy. He's got like kids and stuff like that, you know. Ollie, you want to jump right into the fantasy football check-in?
Yeah. We actually got another win. We turned this season around a little bit. We're 4-9 now. We're 4-9, and we beat the number 1 team in the league, Team CL 25423. So
win.
We might not be in the playoffs, but we showed that we had it. You know, we just showed that we weren't giving up. We're some dogs, you know. So I got the win against Team CL. 2 tight ends, 1 cup. Beat the climb by Miley Cyrus. Team Lucky Luke lost to the OK Fantasy Football Show, which I think is going to buy Toby a berth to the playoffs. Team Emerald Rangers, with the loss, is still going to sneak his way into the playoffs, losing to on top of the world in a close 161-168 game. Team Game Zandsberg, 105 to Team Slop Jockeys, league high 190.2. He's had some huge games this year, so there's kind of 2 main teams, Team Slop Jockeys and Team CL, so we're going to see who it goes down to. And, yeah, I mean, those are the 2 top teams, but, you know, I'm always down for a dark horse team. I'm always down for anything like that. I'm on a 3-game win streak, so, you know, we're just riding the vibe, and we get to go into the offseason and get ready for next year. Get rested, get to work out a little bit, you know, with my guys. It'll be good as a manager.
I had the most points scored against me for the league by over 100 points so far in this entire league. I have the 3rd most points scored. I think if I don't have so many points scored against me, I think I have a positive winning record. I think I'm, I take off 2 wins there, give myself 2 wins.
Whatever helps you sleep. Hypotheticals?
Yeah, I'm upset. It's bullshit. Cause like
you made the playoffs. It doesn't matter your win-loss.
Every week, dude, I seem to be like right there, and I'm like, hell yeah! I just need them to like, you know, not have a guy that scores like 25 fucking points today. And like, that's exactly what happens. They'll have like 2 guys score like huge. And all of a sudden, like mid Monday, I'm like, how I had like a 85% chance of winning this morning. And now I have a 0%. Like what happened here? Fantasy football is bullshit. Playoffs next week. I'm feeling like I'm going to be that dark horse team. Like, I don't have a good record, but at the same time, I'm scoring a lot of points. So I just need everybody else in the league to stop doing so well against me, and I'm cruising at that point. So
yeah, we had some, like, honestly, overall, like, really, like, We have like high scores. Like in some of my other leagues, there's like some really low scores. There's like usually like some pretty high, like always some pretty high scores every week here. So it's been pretty competitive and good. So been fun.
Yep. I'm taking on Conger in the first round of the playoffs.
Sean Kong.
So yeah, that'll start next week. Sweet. All right, moving into our next segment. We're gonna try something new, just kind of mess around a little bit. I'm gonna give Ollie three news article titles, and he's going to pick one of them, and we're gonna kind of go through it. These are all kind of a little silly, a little stupid, a little weird, kind of depending on what's around. So, Ollie, your first title is Man Compensated $2.53 after unwrapping smooth Mars bar.
Oh,
Another title is Officials Don't Brine Your Turkey in the Great Salt Lake. And then, where was that last one? The last one was... Oh, where did it go? Oh, they changed since I looked. That was one of them. Forgotten $10 bill leads to, I think it's Montana man, to $100,000 lottery prize. So first one's about a Mars bar. The second one is about
we'll do the turkey. We'll do the brining.
brining your turkey in the Salt Lake. Yeah. So this is from like last week, November 27th. This is from Utah. Officials at the Great Salt Lake State Park and Marina in Utah are reminding locals not to brine their Thanksgiving turkeys in the Great Salt Lake after someone's bird washed up on the beach. The park said on social media that a turkey still bearing a faded label from the store washed up on Silver Sands Beach. Officials said the discovery was a teaching moment. Just your annual reminder not to use the Great Salt Lake to brine your turkey, the post said. Not only is the salinity too high for a proper brine, the waves can be very strong, and there's a good chance you'll lose your entire turkey, as this person did. It ended up washed up on Silver Sands Beach, and someone went turkeyless.
That's insane. Why would you? I don't even know why people would think to. What is the point?
I don't know what the point is there either, right? Like, dude, making a brine's like it's just like salt and if you do, okay, here's the other thing is if you really do want to brine your turkey like in that salt lake, like why would you just put the turkey in the lake? Why would you not get a bucket of salt of like lake water and then just do it that way?
Yeah, good point.
Practicality has to rise.
Yeah, that one, that's odd. I don't even. It caught my attention. I heard about the Mars bar, but this one I'm like, why would people even do that? So it just washed up, and then they're like, huh, probably did it from there.
It's just
who knows? Maybe someone just lost their turkey. Maybe it was an accident.
Dude, I feel like if you're like a cop in Utah, you're like, oh, that time of year, turkeys are gonna wash up on the shore again. And there's like an experienced cop who's like, I've seen this before, and he's like, "Can I have a cigar? I know this play, like so ridiculous."
I thought it was. I would also thought it was gonna have to do something with. I heard turkey. It was gonna be like something about someone deep frying their turkey and like exploding or some shit.
Dude, those videos this week have been crazy of people like destroying their yard. And
you ever deep fry a turkey?
I've deep fried a lot of shit. I've never deep fried a whole turkey though. No.
It is the best turkey I've ever had. It was pretty dangerous. I did it at my friend's house with my friend and his dad, and it was so worth it. I don't know. I've never done it before, and he's like, "Why don't you do it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
I don't doubt it. It's like super delicious. The way people go about doing it, it's like, what did you think was gonna?
I feel like people just don't know how to deep fry. Dude. Period. So it's like that. Like I was like slow that, so I feel like some people just drop it in and they're like, "Oh, my house is gonna catch up. My house is on fire. Fuck."
Dude, people put like a frozen turkey in there. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's the craziest thing of all time, man.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, super dangerous. Fun videos though. People being dumb. All right, we're gonna move right along into our draft this week. This week we are drafting months of the year. 4 picks, so that means there's going to be 4 months that are left undrafted completely. I think I had the first pick last week, so Ollie, why don't you go ahead and grab the first pick?
First pick, easy, easy. October's very own. My birth month. I love October so much. Fall time. The
Halloween.
weather's not always too bad. Like the weather was pretty nice this October. Usually is okay, pretty okay. You can still go outside and do things. The sun's still coming out at a decent time. Halloween, playoff baseball, football's going on. Basketball's getting in the mix, starting up in the preseason, and the G League's going. The WNBA's wrapping up. There's so many sports in October and in the fall there.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing time. It's my birthday in the middle of October.
They usually,
Big October.
yeah, usually like the sports equinox is in October, where you have like all four major sports in United States playing at the same time, sometimes on the same day, which is like just bananas. Like I don't even follow all four sports, but it's just like an exciting time of year to be like, dude, there's so much happening. October, great pick, man. Yeah, gotta love the Halloween aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like the leaves turning, like going from that. Yeah, no. Yeah, goated month. My first pick is going to be June. Honestly, bro, same reasons. Birthday month, no problem.
You gotta go hard with it.
For sure. June's always been like great for me because like baseball and disc golf are the two like main sports that I want to watch the most, and those are both like in full go during June. Summer's kind of like just kicking off, where like you get those first, like maybe not the first couple, but like like the nice days are like there to last kind of thing. Absolutely love June. Great time of year.
Love that.
And then for my second pick here, I think I'm going to pick April. I love that sense of winter turning to spring. Those couple of like early like April showers that kind of make everything like kind of smell like rainfall, and you can kind of smell that rain coming from like a little bit away. Love that in the morning. Like April, a lot of the weather is like you can wear shorts and then like a hoodie, and like that kind of thing, and like you're really comfortable throughout most of the day. So
Yep.
absolutely love April. Yeah, I'm a spring and summer guy like through and through. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like with the April showers, come May flowers. And
hey,
that's why we're gonna go May. We love a good
hey,
springtime. It's not too hot. It's not cold. It's like everything's blooming. You're getting like the most beautiful part in Seattle. Like that's my favorite part about living in Washington. We get 4 seasons. We really get to experience a true fall, a true spring, a true summer, a true winter. So I really enjoy it. And so I think May is like you said, you get those April showers, starting to turn into like the springtime in April, and then it's such a great time. So we're gonna go May there.
first couple of nice days of the year usually happen in May. Like that first day where you're like, yo, like it's almost summer, man. Like that first 75-degree, like sunny day. Oh, love that.
October is the fall version of May.
Good point.
Someone put out there. So
Yeah.
I think it's another equivalent to that. And then for my next pick, we're gonna go with none other than I got two. The next two I really want. I think I just gotta take Christmas or December.
December, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get Christmas. We gotta get some snow, some sledding. And see, I feel like in Washington it might be a little more January. We get a little more snow, or like depending on the year. But yeah, definitely sledding, hot chocolate, hot cider. I usually got some people in town. Some of my friends are in town. I always enjoy December. Good time.
Solid. I think December's was not at the top of my list. I think this is kind of when it gets cold. I'm not necessarily like a Scrooge about it, but Christmas just like I can kind of take it or leave it, honestly. I would prefer like Thanksgiving and Halloween over Christmas personally. I like the gathering of Thanksgiving and that. December, growing up in like Western New York too, in like Buffalo area, that was like, hey, we're gonna get our first like deep snowfall in like early December, and like that was just kind of the sign of like
not here
being terrible. So I personally have like bad images with like December months kind of thing.
I feel that as a Seattle kid, December is like I can go do stuff in December. Like I'm still going out and playing disc golf. Honestly, like it more because there's like no one playing golf at that time, so it's like I can go to SeaTac and have it all to myself. I can go anywhere it feels like and have it to myself. So I've always associated the winter time and like that December time with like a huge like kind of like my grind time. Like when I was doing swimming, it was like really like your head down swimming like working out for like 6 hours a day basically. So like it's very like I think of winter, I think of like head down, working hard, which is like it's exciting. I like and it kind of it's like when at the end of the year it's like this is why I did it, or like you have a good tournament. This is why I you do those days.
Yeah.
Um, you put the work in, so when you get to those moments, you can perform. I think it's you're 100% not going to do anything that you haven't practiced in an event. That's like something I've taken with every sport I've done. Like I'm gonna practice my ass off because I'm not gonna show up and just do something I've never done before.
Hmm.
If you don't put in the work, you're never gonna get better at it. And so December is like very like that for me. So allows me to go and just get the work in.
Yeah. Yeah, solid. Yeah, like I said, solid though. My number six pick, or the number six pick of this draft, is going to be. I'm going to pick November. I like November. Leaves start to change. Kind of those first couple of like crisp, like kind of chilly days. I'm a big fan of Thanksgiving as well. You took October, or else I would have picked October for like October baseball kind of thing, like playoff baseball. But the couple of rare like November baseball games are always like the most important ones because those are in the World Series, so that's always kind of exciting too. So, yeah. So for the number six pick, we're gonna go November, and then for the number seven pick, April. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
My pick. I think there's a big one
I
right there.
I have two that I'm kind of like tossed between right now. I'm tossed between February and I'm tossed between um, August, and both of them I have like their own like positives that I love and their own negatives. I think I'm gonna go with August. Yeah, I'm gonna go with August. Yeah, August. Everything's still in full swing. You kind of get those last like days of summer kind of thing going on there. Usually at the end of August, things start to like die down a little bit, and that warm weather seems to kind of chill out. So, yeah, my list is June, April, November, and August. Ollie, round us out, bud.
Rounded out, I'm taking July. I need my summer month. I need my, very big 4th of July. Very fun holiday. I always feel like it's a good way to start July off. And then, I think the biggest, and if you want to, I think in Seattle we get it the best. It gets up to like high 80s, 90. And that's like, it's like as hot as it will get, and it's like perfect. So I think that's like when we get into our hot summer month. So I think if one downgrade is like probably maybe one of the hotter months we get, but it also can be probably one of the things people like the most about it. And then also I feel like it's when I don't know, when you're in school, you go on your like family vacations or whatever. You go on vacations when you got time off and stuff in the summer in July, and not necessarily. And then when I was a kid in summer swim league, that was like the big summer swim league month. So always love July.
Yeah. Okay, so to recap here, you have October, May, December, and July. I have June, April, November, and August. To be honest, I just could not think of July, or I would have picked July with my last pick. So I fumbled the bag there pretty hard.
So I was like,
What? So the months that we did were, oh no. The months that we did
two
were January, February, September. What other month did we miss?
March.
March. Oh yeah, March, dude. March wasn't even like in my realm of thought.
I
January makes sense. January sucks. Like the weather.
feel like March might be a little underrated. It just doesn't get,
Sure.
it just doesn't get the.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's not that
Uh,
bad.
everybody can agree. September sucks. School's back. Like as a kid, like going back to school every September has ruined September for me. Like for my entire life. So, September garbage.
I think February is a lower tier because the short months, everything like that, just less days. But some people like that more. Valentine's Day, that's probably one of the bigger dubs there. That's what I do like about February.
Weather still kind of sucks in February.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like sometimes
Windiest,
it's
coldest.
colder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
February, I'm not a fan. There's really nothing going on yet either. You know what I mean? Like baseball's not back. Like disc golf is just kind of starting up, but all the tournaments you play, like you kind of regret a little bit because you are like frigid, and it's usually like so windy in February too. So, all right, cool. So yeah, that was the months draft. Let us know what your favorite month of the year is. Ollie, round us out, bud.
Yep. Little Kevin Durant quote. This one is one from when he won the NBA MVP award in 2014. Really big deal. It was his first MVP award and first like major NBA award. And he was thanking his mom for all the sacrifices she made. And so it's, we weren't supposed to be here. You made us believe. You kept us off the streets, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. When we went to sleep, you were when we went to sleep, when you oh my god. Blech. Put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry and you sacrificed for us. You are the real MVP. Kevin Durant, 2014 MVP, Seattle Sonic legend. Hopefully bring him back. Aim high, shoot low, and we'll see you next week.